is a reading from After the Referendum, Chapter 6, a phone call between June and Rupert. Rupert? Hello, it's June.
Oh, hello, Prime Minister. How are you today? How lovely to hear from you.
Rupert bit his lip. He couldn't help but be effusive when the PM called him mobile to mobile. It still felt like a signal that he had arrived. That he was somebody when the most powerful person in the land was casually ringing him on his cell phone for a conversation. The feeling was ephemeral, however, as her monotone voice quickly brought him back to the real world where, far from being exciting and an honour, June was a dreary non-entity blocking his path to glory. She doubtless just needed something from him. He was desperate to push her into the first wet ditch he could find. She would be at home there, dull as.
Rupert's unwarranted and aimless enthusiasm irritated June. She generally had an Olympian ability when it came to concealing her emotions. However, Rupert was simply too vexing for words. She had given up even attempting to hide her exasperation with her foreign secretary. She sighed and continued somewhat sharply.
We need to discuss the meeting. Ever since the referendum to which you so brilliantly contributed brought us to this position, the challenges have been arriving thick and fast. We have set a steady course, and as you know, I will not be blown off that course. That being said, Chexit seems to present new questions all the time, and the new answers are rather slow in manifesting themselves. Hence, the meeting?
Of course, Prime Minister. Anchors away. Enough blathering down the hatches in the face of a few squalls. Nothing we can't overcome, no matter how broad in the beam. Port out, starboard home. That's the spirit if we want to pass muster. We'll have it all ship-shape and Bristol fashion before you can say Jiminy Cricket.
June's level of irritation ratcheted up a notch. Who actually spoke like that? What did Rupert even mean?
Rupert dabbed the sweat off his brow. Why did June make him speak like that? What had he even meant?
Thankfully, June's unswerving instinct to plough on in the face of adversity and all inconvenient facts always served her well with Rupert. After a moment's silence, which she did not notice, but to Rupert seemed an age, she continued.
We need to broaden the base of support for what we are doing. We will be much stronger and, of course, the government much more stable if we co-opt the other parties into going along with our course of action. Clear, sensible Chexit policies executed by a strong and stable government are what the British people want and what the British people expect. She said this with great conviction, as if the fact of uttering the sentence would somehow bring the desired outcome closer.
Quite, Prime Minister. There is no turning back, as another great lady once said.
Rupert froze. Had he just compared June to Saint Margaret? How could he have done such a thing, even in the heat of the moment when he was trying to overcompensate for his naval nonsense? June wasn't even worthy of an utterly insincere compliment.
June froze. Had he just compared her to Margaret Thatcher? What a silly man he was, if he thought pathetic flattery like that would somehow improve her opinion of him. She decided, yet again, to simply ignore her Foreign Secretary's words.
The issue is that we have some ideas people who shoot off all over the place, so that action people like myself have no clear guidelines on what we should do. I have decided that we are going to get these people in the room and not let them go until we have drawn the ideas out, tamed them, and agreed on a common position in the national interest. It is just good old-fashioned common sense, really.
Was June just calling him an ideas person? Rupert wasn't at all sure, and even so, was it more a compliment being an ideas person, or an insult being all over the place? Now, his clever friend Michael was almost certainly an ideas person. He had written in depth on how free market solutions to climate change generally proved far more effective than caps dictated by bureaucratic fiat. Michael saw little he liked in bureaucratic fiat. Rupert's instincts had told him that bashing unelected functionaries would be a surefire vote winner, and he had appropriated Michael's views accordingly. Maybe he wasn't an ideas person, but he certainly was a salesperson for other people's ideas. He was a personality person. That's what he was. In any case, regardless of his special skills, June's idea seemed like a recipe for disaster. He would not be appropriating that one anytime soon. Did she not realize that she was proposing using her magnetic personality to impose order on a band of alley cats? What a foolish nonentity she was.
What a super idea, Prime Minister. They should all feel honoured to have been invited. I know I do. Rupert gushed.
June sighed. It was almost over, thank goodness. She really couldn't take too much one-on-one time with Rupert.
My people will be in touch with some more details, but I want to know that I have your support on this. You will assist me in making sure we get the ideas out. Then we will all have a civilised conversation, putting the Czechsid vote in the centre as our foundation. After that, we'll hammer out a deal. Do I have your support on this, Rupert?
Yes, Prime Minister, you do. Just like he did when he used to tell porkies to his mother, Rupert's fingers were tightly crossed behind his back.
The next act was about to begin.